Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to yet another CS Live session. And today we have an amazing guest with us. His name is Rich Tuckwell. Rich is the founder of the Hotel Project, which is a part of Beach Avenue Financial. Uh, and Hotel, I personally feel it's an amazing project. So it combines the cryptocurrency benefits and the real world assets of the hotels. Okay, welcome, Rich. Welcome to the CS Live session. And we would like to know more about the hotel project.
Hey, Shaz, thank you very much for having me. So we created Hottel back in 2020
Mhm.
during COVID, when obviously COVID had kind of changed the travel landscape completely. Crypto was going insane, and one day, Bitcoin was $30, and then the next day it was $12 million, and then it was $80, and it was just a very confusing, scary time on all fronts. And so we kind of, because we run and operate hotels, we kind of looked at the landscape and said, there must be something we can do where we can create a coin that doesn't have this like roller coaster ride of ups and downs, where it can be stable, it can be backed on an asset that doesn't change value, or only really appreciates with time. And there must be a way of creating a coin that can never really be worth less than you've paid for it. So even in the worst case scenario, if another COVID happens or the world explodes tomorrow, the coin should really only never drop below what you've paid for it. So it was not a risk-free by any stretch of the imagination, because let's face it, this is still investment, it's still crypto, it's still real estate. So it's nothing is ever risk-free, but something that was all of the security and safety of investing in hardcore real estate, commercial real estate, but with kind of the excitement and the uplift of crypto. And so we came up with Hottel, which basically, the whole purpose of the project is we are going to be, every dollar that is raised from selling Hottel will go into buying distressed luxury hotel assets and commercial buildings, reposition them into a multi-use building that has a hotel complex aspect, has a residential living aspect, and has a senior living aspect. Each building will have an out-facing gym, restaurant, bar. What we are aiming to do is create a lifestyle resort that is both usable for the people inside staying and living, and also people on the street who want an amazing venue to go to and experience life. And these will be all over North America. The coin will directly be attached to the asset. So
Mhm.
as assets appreciate, and because we're buying distressed assets, we'll force appreciate them by around 40 to 50%. This will allow each one of those 600 million coins that are attached to the project to be worth a 600 millionth of the cost or the profit of the overall project. So let's say that we create a $5 billion asset fund. Each coin is then worth $17.50 or $22 or $30. And because we're retailing the coins, the first 100 million coins at $7.50, the idea is that 3 to 5 years time, these coins are going to be worth $50 to $70, and in 10 years time, these coins are going to be worth $195 to $250, depending on how the portfolio performs.
Interesting. So, Rich, one question comes to my mind. So, you took all these decisions when there was COVID in the world and a lot of businesses were shutting down. So, did you also go through certain fear in that you're taking a risk? What if it doesn't succeed? And so, what was going behind you in behind the mind?
So for me, I've been running hotels and within this ecosystem for nearly 20 years. So I had my first hotel when I was 19. I have operate hotels. I am very successful within the hospitality sector. I'm a multi-award winning, I have a marketing agency that exclusively deals with hotels. So we market hotels for a living. We've multiple awards, 11 in the last year alone, for our work and for increasing revenue.
Mhm.
I am known globally as kind of like the hotel whisperer. So They bring me in when a hotel is in real trouble, about to go bankrupt, and I reposition the property. I reopen it under a different name, or I may keep the name but reopen it in a different guise, aimed at a different way, market it differently. In my career, I have built hotels, I have renovated hotels, I have owned 3 software companies that have provided hotels, all of which have successfully exited. I actually exited in November of last year. We currently do marketing and operate around 150 hotels in North America and the Caribbean. In my entire career, I have had 1 loss. So I've only had 1 hotel that I could not save. Most
Wow.
of
Okay.
the hotels that they bring me in for, I perform a 250 to 700% lift in revenue.
Amazing, Rich. So one hotel out of 150 you were operating.
Hmm.
So success in 149 hotels, that's quite an amazing track record.
It's actually about 1 out of 750, but yeah. Over 20 years, I've probably done over 1,500 hotels, I would say. And it's, in 2016, I was very humbled to be awarded the HSMAI. HSMAI is the kind of industry body that controls hotels, looks after hotels. And in 2016, they awarded me the top 20 Extraordinary Mind Award for my revenue generation and marketing operational excellence within hotels for the industry, which is very humbling to be given that award. There's thousands and thousands of people in this industry around the world. To be nominated as one of the top 20 people operating within the industry is a fantastic achievement, and very
Absolutely.
humble.
Absolutely, Rich. And hotel industry being such a vast industry, and it's there in wherever you go. The travel industry itself is so vast, and you getting a special award in this, it's quite an amazing task. Uh,
Absolutely.
well done, Rich. Great. So I need to understand. So somebody, let's say, is investing in the real estate or investing in directly in the hotels, versus somebody investing in the hotel token. So how is investing in hotel token more advantageous than the other option? What do
So
you suggest?
there are 3 or 4 different routes to it. I mean, fundamentally, if you are looking at acquiring a distressed hotel, firstly, even under fractional ownership, you are going to have to spend an awful lot more than $7.50. So nobody really, when you're dealing with commercial real estate, especially the hotels of the size we're talking about, where they're 150 to 300 rooms, nobody is going to let you invest in there for a few $1,000s, or $10,000 if you're really feeling flush. So this allows you a fractional ownership. The other thing is, you're going to be a hotel owner, so you're going to be on the hook for the renovations, the losses, the trauma, the what happens if it goes wrong. You're also going to have to be registered within that country to operate that hotel and be part of that limited business. Because with us, you're investing in a token, you are investing in a coin. So you're buying a coin that's attached to that asset. You don't own the hotel, you own the coin. Each Avenue Financial, which is the fund that you have a share in, because fundamentally those 600 coins is 1 share each. You have a share in that company. You've already assigned us as the hotel manager and the renovation specialist and the operator. So your ability to be able to invest in that token and then move that token anywhere else in the world you want, you can trade that token. If you invest in a hotel, you can't just sell your shares in a hotel in 3 years or 4 years' time because it's appreciated. You now have to get everybody else that's invested in that hotel to also want to sell that hotel. This allows you the freedom to be part of the real estate game, invest in commercial real estate, get the first 3 to 5 years worth of real uplift in this property. Because this isn't a buy it and dump it coin. This is a buy it, knowing that you're going to be holding it for 3, 4, or 5 years. And in 3, 4, or 5 years' time, when this coin has increased in value and all of the revenue that's been created by its operating has bought more assets, the fund is worth more, you're now not just investing in one property that could go wrong, you're invested in 350 hotels. 350 hotels going bankrupt is very unlikely. So your investment is much safer. You're able to move the coin anywhere you want in the world. And obviously, we are in the process of registering the fund in Dubai, and we'll be a Dubai registered business very shortly, which will attract huge amounts of tax benefits, both for the coin and the coin holders. So you'll be able to move this around anywhere. And fundamentally, because the KYC is done at network and at exchange level, we now don't have to worry about the North American government saying, well, actually, we don't want you investing in real estate here, because you're investing in a crypto coin, not real estate. So they're two very different things, but you still have all of the security of being attached to that real estate.
Right, right. Yes, that's actually so true. A common person cannot go and buy a big property or a hotel, but definitely we can buy those tokens and invest and take the benefit of those bigger investments.
Hmm.
That's an amazing concept, Rich. I really liked it. Okay, and okay, so talking about the background of the hotel
Hmm.
project, I know you are the mastermind behind the hotel. So apart from you, uh, like who all are there in the team? And
So
like,
we have a large team. So it's not just me. There's
okay,
about 55 of us involved. We
okay,
have a large team of experts. We have Melanie Prado, who's on tonight. She's actually our CMO. She's on doing these slides for me, bless her. So Mel is the CMO for the project. We have our CFO, is an amazing woman called Georgina, who is used to dealing with billion-dollar turnover businesses. He is very versed in this. We have an ex Hersha Hospitality vice president of finance as an advisor on the
mhm,
board, who again is used to dealing with multi-billion-dollar public REITs. We, as a whole, our core C-suite team are all seasoned veterans, either in high-value asset funds, high-value commercial real estate, fast-moving consumer goods, which, believe it or not, actually you have to be kind of an expert in FMCG to operate a hotel, because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff that needs doing. It kind of behaves a little bit more like retail than tourism.
mhm.
And so we're all positioned well enough, and we've all worked together long enough that I trust my team immensely. You know, one man cannot scale a mountain without a team, and my team is amazing. They've helped me build one multi-million-dollar business. Now they're helping me build another one. And honestly, if it wasn't for them and their experience, this would be a much harder ride.
Okay, Rich. So I do see that you have a very strong team, and that's what anyway when we are looking for whenever we invest in any token, that the token should be backed up with really strong team and a driving force, which anyway it's the real asset properties. So quite nice. So let's say right now I understand the hotel industry is booming. So would there be a point when there would be a saturation in the industry, and how do you plan to address that?
Not really. So what we are doing, and kind of our slogan is, you know, we are creating exciting new places from existing spaces. So we aren't
Hmm.
building new hotels. We are taking hotels, big hotels, 150 to 300 room hotels that are badly operated in a distressed condition. Maybe what you tend to find is that a good 30% of the marketplace, the hotels that were built were just built too big. So they didn't audit, and somebody said,
Hmm.
well, actually, this, you know, a 60-room hotel will be 100% occupied here. And then whatever brand the owner wanted to put on that building, the brand said, oh, you can't be our brand unless you're 150 rooms. So
Okay.
they built a 150 room hotel. The problem is there isn't the market for it. So what you end up with is an average or poorly performing hotel that the owner is now stuck with, and they can't get rid of the hotel because it's performing badly. It's a 45 to 55% occupancy, and so they're stuck with it. And then when COVID kicked in, that was the kind of final nail in the coffin for all these things. So we're buying assets that are either too big, the wrong marketplace, the wrong brand. We're stripping the brand off of them. We're ripping the insides of them out, and we are creating brand new, smaller hotels, residences, and senior living inside that hotel. We're then branding it our own brand, La Voyage Hotels. That will become its own ecosystem for the name. So every hotel that's coming that we purchase will be rebranded La Voyage. So when we look at our coin holders and when we talk about the future of the coin, one of the things we're looking at doing at the moment is enabling the coin to be used as currency. So our
Mm-hmm.
coin holders can come and actually pay their stays and pay their rent or whatever it might be in one of our buildings using their stock of coins. And more importantly, if they're a significant shareholder, so let's say they have they're $1 million worth of coins, those holders of coins will actually be gifted free holidays inside the resorts. It may be that we have a gorgeous property in Anguilla, for instance, and so we invite our million-plus shareholders to come and have a free week at some point during the year. So what we're trying to do is create an environment using these hotels that repurposes not only the building, but the area around it. We want these properties to become part of the community again. And as you can
Mm-hmm.
see in the economic slide, our average purchase price for a hotel will be anywhere from 12 to 25 million. We'll then equate 10% of that purchase price with repositioning. So let's say our average property is going to be 17 million with a repositioning price of 1.7 million. We'll then force appreciate that property because, again, these are distressed properties. We're buying them directly under market value. So we'll then appreciate that property up by about 40 to 50% in the first year, which means that overriding what we have purchased for, including deal fees, around $19 million, ends up being a property that's actually worth somewhere in the region of $25 million. Because the fund is evergreen, all of these hotels, we have no shareholders. We're not a REIT. You're not investing into a REIT, you're investing into a crypto. So there's no dividend. All of the revenue that's created from the hotels goes back into buying more distressed properties to add into the fund. And because the coin is based on the value of the fund, not one asset, now the coin value goes up because the fund asset has gone up because we have more assets. So, and a good way of looking at this is if we raise $5 billion now, we go and buy 300 hotels. Within 2 years, that fund is worth closer, because of the amount of properties we're buying, that fund is worth closer to $17 billion. So what starts life now as 5 billion ends up being 17 billion very quickly. And the actual idea is that within 10 years, this fund will be worth around $80 billion and will be housing around 700 hotels, which is a large chain. It would make it the 8th or 9th largest chain of hotels in the world. So that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create an entire ecosystem from the properties we're buying. And we're buying the properties that nobody wants because people don't think these properties work. They just don't realize that they don't work as they are. Repositioned into something new, they have a whole new life.
Right, right. That's right, Rich. Uh, so my inquisitive question is like there's so many distressed properties. So how do you make sure that you choose the right one? What are the thought process behind that?
We do a huge amount of auditing. So one of the things we do for all of our clients, whether they're across all of our businesses, whether it's a software client, digital marketing client, we do a huge amount of auditing. We look at what the footfall is, what the search is for in that area, what the travel traffic is, what the residential traffic is, what the audience is. So we want to buy in affluent areas where we have a median level of travel. So we don't necessarily want an airport hotel. That's not going to work for the other two use cases. But we want something in a city center or in a really good suburb outside of a city center. Let's take Manhattan, for instance. New York is amazing. We could have Manhattan or we could have Brooklyn. We could have Queens. Both of those are affluent areas that are gentrifying at the moment. They're up and coming areas. There is a need for small luxury hotels there. There is a need for luxury residences for small 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments. And there is an absolute need for luxury senior living. So we do the auditing. We configure the property as best that we believe is required. But the system we use, we've actually created a system called Flex Mode. And this means that the entire building is zoned for hotel, is zoned for luxury senior living, is zoned for residential. And whichever one of those is the lead gets the most rooms, and the other two get the next. So let's say we open a hotel and it's directly 30% hotel, 25% luxury senior living, and the rest is residential. Let's say the market bottoms out of residential, but we now have a massive requirement for hotels. We just turn those apartments over into hotel rooms, and now we have a bigger hotel and less residential. Same for luxury
Mm.
senior living, same for hotel. Because the whole building flexes, we can ensure that the building generates the most amount of revenue it can in its entity in the area it is. And those audits help us decide what that needs to look like.
All right. Okay. Great. Thanks for the detailed description. So I do see there's enough lot of research which goes on, and you have a very strong team. So before buying any property, to make sure that it is successful and it is profitable.
And we're also doing something really unique here, Shaz. I mean,
Mhm.
we aren't just taking an old hotel and turning it into a new hotel. One of the things that is pivotal in the tokenomics and actually the success of Hottel is looking at the luxury senior living market in North America. So luxury
Mhm.
and senior living in general is massively underserved in North America. We are currently in 2023 7 million beds short of what is needed for all of those wealthy individuals that are now aging out, all the baby boomers. They no longer want to live on their own. They no longer want to live in a big house and run a team of people and have staff. They want to start downsizing, going into luxury environments like hotel environments where somebody does their cleaning, somebody does their washing, somebody does their linens for them, changes their beds, changes light bulbs,
Mhm.
maybe do their shopping, walk the dog, park the car, but they're left alone. Yeah, we're talking about unassisted living. We're doing the chores that nobody wants to do. We're doing the upkeep and the boring jobs, and allowing these people to get on with their retirement, doing the things that they want to do most: going to the gym, taking a class, doing yoga, going to the hair salon, meeting their friends for lunch. You know, all the things that they have spent their entire life working for. That currently their choices are sell their house and move into assisted living somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, probably in a different state to the state they've lived in for the last 25, 30 years, potentially hours away from their children, maybe even a flight away from their friends. What we're trying to do is create spaces for those people to now come, live somewhere for 8 to 10 years, which is what luxury senior living will stay with us for, in an environment that is their home, around people they know, near to their families, with the ability for their family to come and visit them even if they're not close, and stay in a hotel without them having to stay with them. Fundamentally, it's owning a 400-room house without owning a 400-room house. You have a community around you. Because we're so short, 7 million beds short, if you look at how people are building and the development, we will always be short. So in
Mhm.
2030, we'll be 10 million beds short. In 2040, we'll be 15 million beds short. So what we're trying to do is capitalize on that shortage and say, hey, there's a very unique space here where you can come live, have everything done for you you want done. You can live inside this gorgeous hotel resort. You're going to get a gorgeous gym, fantastic hair salon, great restaurant, great bar to go and sit in at night and watch the world go by. All of the amenities you want with none of the hassle. And we're going to put these in core locations.
Amazing, Rich. So you're solving actually a very big problem for the people. Great. So coming back to the hotel uh, cryptocurrency, hotel token. So like I've seen lately, a lot of projects tokenizing properties as well.
Mm.
So how do you differentiate hotel from those particular currencies? Because again, it would those are also real estate assets.
So we're very different.
Mhm.
What they're doing is they are building hotels, or they have already built hotels or commercial real estate, and they are now selling off shares in that to recoup their money and make money on top of it managing the property. We
Mhm.
are completely the opposite of that. So we are saying there is no assets, so there is no value. You are going to, every dollar that you buy a hot coin for goes into buying those hotels. You aren't buying one property, you aren't buying two properties, you are buying a token that, when this is fully vested, will own hundreds of properties. So now you've completely de-risked. One of the things, and I'm not saying these other real estate tokens aren't good value or a bad project. I believe that they're just as good as we are, but they're different. They are basically saying, I'm one property. You're buying into this and you own a share in this property and it's digitalized. If the rents on that don't work out, if that doesn't make profit, your coin is worth what it's worth. And it has
Mm-hmm.
the ability, let's say you invest into a project that's currently forecasting it's going to be a $10 million build with $5 million worth of revenue. So you invest into that and that building doesn't perform. And instead of doing $5 million a year, it's at 40% occupancy and it's now doing $2 million a year. One of the core issues that COVID raised was when properties of any type, be it residential, be it commercial, when properties don't perform, the asset value drops as well. That's why we're able to buy all these hotels so cheaply. We're not going and buying junk hotels. We're buying hotels that just don't work in the place they are. And because they've never worked, we're able to pick those hotels up 40 to 60% cheaper than their actual value. If those
Mm-hmm.
buildings were 100% occupied and were solid businesses, they'd be worth 40 to 50% more. It's exactly the same for these other types of properties. If they don't perform, the asset value is going to go down. So then the coin is going to go down in line with it because the coin, like ours, is worth whatever the asset is worth. And you're in one property. So there's a huge amount of risk there. We have de-risked it completely by saying, you know what, we have three different options of how to make this building profitable. We're going after the number one issue in North America for seniors at the moment, which is there's nowhere for them to live. We're going
Okay.
after the second biggest problem, which is there's no affordable housing in 1 and 2 bedroom apartments in certain areas. And then we're addressing a third problem, which is here's this massive building that's at 40% occupancy. If we make it a 60-room hotel, it's 100% occupied. So now we have three profitable business units. So we're de-risking the actual building itself, and then we're timesing that by 300. So the level of risk in our token compared to those other real estate funds is chalk and cheese. It's day and night.
Right, Rich. So I clearly understand that it's if you're buying any other token with one property, it's a risk whether property goes up or down.
Yeah.
Here, it's you're actually buying 100 different properties, and
Yes.
one or two may go down, but the token price would not. Okay, so being a devil's advocate, I need to understand. Uh, Looking at the long term, is there would there be a reason the price of the hotel token may go down instead of going up?
So if there was another big event in the world like COVID, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
that could affect the price of our hotels. Absolutely. It could affect the price of the buildings, but it's not going to affect it by the 40 to 60% that we're buying them at. So it may affect them 25%, but remember, the other two portions of that building are no longer a hotel, they're residential. So now you would have to have luxury senior living go away, which is not going away. There's more seniors aging out now than ever before in the world, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
continuing. With as the population grows, this issue becomes bigger and bigger. Um, Again, because we're residences, not just hotels. So the worst thing that could happen is one aspect of our property could start to suffer. In which case, we would be able to flex that over into the other two and offer residential, so we could mitigate the risk. But more importantly, we bought that property so much cheaper that even after we've renovated it, we still purchased the property 40% less than it was worth. And now we've probably force appreciated that building 120%, which means it would need to be a significant, I mean, when we talk significant, the building, everything would need to stop in order for the asset value to drop back to even where
Mm-hmm.
we bought it. So that's the first thing. But the next thing to remember is that would be okay and it would affect the claim back to what you paid for it. But we don't see any significant issue on the horizon for, let's say, the next 3 years. In 3 years' time, we will have added over 200 properties to this portfolio. So the value of the portfolio has gone up by 200 more hotels. So now when you're saying about devaluing, yeah, there's a big world event, everything goes down 40%. We're still probably 70% up on what you paid for your coin because we have 200 more properties, they're worth more, and more importantly, those 500 properties are still 70% full. They still have revenue in from two different businesses and all the other businesses in the building. So it wouldn't affect us to the point the coin could drop, but it's not gonna be what I say is the Bitcoin roller coaster. We're not gonna go from $70 a coin to $10 a coin. We're gonna go from $70 a coin to $55 a coin, maybe $60 a coin. That's the kind of flex. But you're still talking about people that would have paid $22 to $25 for a coin maximum. So that's the tokenomics of it. It's just how the economics of it works.
Great. So I do see that this is almost a risk-free investment, almost 99.99% risk-free.
Well, I mean,
And
nothing more risk-free, but it's
Mhm.
you have tried to de-risk this in as many different ways as possible. I don't think you could de-risk anything any more than we already have.
Absolutely, and an event like COVID, also there would be people, they would need residences to stay, and you are focusing on residences as well. So, and not only the hotel properties. So, which is quite an amazing plan, and a very good backup plan also.
And it's also worth remembering, I mean, I operate hotels through COVID, hundreds of
Mhm.
hotels through COVID, we had it as clients. And people think that COVID shut all hotels down. It didn't. Hotels dropped to between 5 and 15% occupancy was where they were. I had 15 hotels during COVID that stayed above 45% occupancy. I had another 10 that I repositioned into COVID rehabilitation centers that were 100% full and actually had their best financial years ever. So again, it is all down to how, if a significant world event happens, it all is down to how agile you and your team are in repositioning the assets you've got that are suffering into something. If you can reposition quickly, you can get ahead of it, and who knows, you could end up making even more money.
All right, Rich. Thanks for the details. And here I would take an opportunity to tell our listeners as well, our viewers, that Rich and the hotel project has decided to do some airdrops as well of the precious hotel token. So you can avail those hotel tokens by going to our Coinbox on our app. It's only an app-based platform. So please log into our app, and then you will find callbacks Coinbox, and the code would be flashed on this on your screen itself here. So you need to just type that code in the Coinbox, and you'll be lucky to get some hotel tokens. And the good idea is to retain them, as Rich said. Right now, it's priced between $7 and $8, but soon you would see it's going up to $25 or going up to $50, and then you would think that, okay, why did I sell those tokens? So it's a good idea to retain that. And personally, I would say it's an amazing opportunity, and it's a very good long-term investment.
And we do. I mean, the coin has a hold in it for 24 months anyway. So whoever buys the coin can't really do anything with it for 24 months. But we believe that
Mhm.
90% of the people that will purchase the coin, they're long termers. They're the people that invested in Bitcoin when it was $300 a coin. They will stay with us for 5, 6, 7 years. They're not going to exit these coins until they're in the hundreds of dollars. And even then, they may choose to not exit completely. They may just sell some to do a lifestyle purchase like a new car or a house, or depending on their investment level. But they'll always keep an active play in because the fund is evergreen. It is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger because while all of these hotels and all these senior livings and all these apartments are producing revenue, they're just funding more buildings. And if we run out of hotels in 10 years' time to buy, Maybe we'll start doing commercial real estate. Maybe we'll start doing office blocks. Maybe we'll start doing strip malls. Who knows where we'll go? We'll continue doing hotels while that market and luxury senior living, while that market supports it. But we're agile. And this is
Right.
fundamentally a real estate fund. And I
Absolutely.
think people are investing not just in the coin, but they're investing in me, they're investing in the team, they're investing in my background, my knowledge, they're
Mhm.
investing in travel and tourism. We know from COVID that we are back, with the exception of the Chinese population, which is still yet to really start traveling through after COVID. And that's a lot down to government lockdown. That's nothing to do with the fact they don't want to travel. A lot of them physically can't travel. But we've seen huge swathes of Asia start traveling again. We've seen huge swathes of Australasia start traveling again. Europe is traveling. North America is traveling. North America is 22% up on 2019. 2019 was the best year for travel ever. So travel is back. Things are busy. Now is the right time to be creating something that you can ride that wave into the next decade to see where it's going to go. It's an exciting journey, and I think people are investing in the journey.
Right, right, Rich. And I remember you saying that first you would like to focus more on the American country, and then probably move to Dubai. And so, what's your long-term plan? Let's say 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. Which all countries do you want to focus on?
So we're looking at property numbers rather than years. So the first 300 properties will be in North America and the Caribbean. And there's one reason for that. It's a safe market. It has
Hmm.
the most solid real estate values pretty much globally. We then look towards the Dubai and UAE market because, again, they're emerging markets. They are really pumping when it comes to crypto. They are really trying to make UAE and Dubai centers. And that's honestly, that's the reason that we've decided to move the company there. They are the first to really regulate in an aggressive manner, but to protect the buyer as well as the exchange, to really make sure people are getting what they're paying for, and that people that are running these funds and running these networks and exchanges are operating correctly. So we'd look at the UAE. We'll then move to Europe. So we will start acquiring in Europe. And then we'll look at China and Southeast Asia after that. So we believe within 10 years, our property portfolio will be around 60% North American, 10% UAE, probably 20% Europe, and the
Hmm.
rest will be spread around the rest of the world. We fully intend for Hottel to be, and for La Voyage to be, a global chain of hotels and resorts and residences.
Hmm. All right. So, when you talk about global chain of hotels, so have you come up with a brand for that, or
We have
you still?
So the
Yeah,
brand would La Voyage Hotels and Resorts.
La
Uh,
Voyage. Yeah.
La Voyage, yeah. So the entire thing, and the reason we've gone down this road, is life is a journey. You know,
Hmm.
we all have we have all been through a hugely traumatic time in the last 3 years.
Hmm.
There are wars and they're terrible things. COVID was the first thing that affected the entire world systemically at the same time and put everybody in the same position. And it was the first time as a global community, we came together in solidarity and said, oh, what what we are trying to do is find light in that. And so La Voyage is all about the journey. So we are a kind of retro vintage brand. Think kind of Saint Tropez vibe. You should feel like you've just stepped in from the beach whether you've just stepped off the subway or not, or out the desert. You'll walk in, it'll be an oasis. Within La Voyage Resort, you'll find your luxury senior living, which is La Voyage de la Vie. The journey continues. La Voyage Residences, and then you'll have our gym chain, you'll have our protein and our wellness centers. All resorts will have a wellness center, a health and beauty laboratory where we're doing hair, nails, non-invasive surgery, surgical procedures. There'll be an award-winning restaurant, hopefully. I say award-winning because hopefully because we haven't won the award yet. um, a bar, and it will be a true place where, as a resident, there is always something to do. There'll be personal trainers, there'll be classes, there'll be engagement, and then if you're outside, there's a reason to come in. And what we're trying to do with La Voyage is create a journey not just for the people inside the resort, but for the community around us as well. We want La Voyage to be a movement. So, and the reason for putting them in key locations is because when we look at the places where community suffered the worst during COVID, it's the place that needs a La Voyage more than anywhere else. And so that's what we want to do. We want to kind of create an amazing brand that's a luxury brand. It's a cool brand, it's a luxury brand, it's a lifestyle brand that really encourages people to come together and celebrate unity.
Amazing, Rich. That's an amazing plan, and I do see a complete ecosystem around the hotels and around the hotel token. So, and the more amazing thing is that just buying one token, I can be a part of this ecosystem.
Yeah,
If so, and just flow with the flow, and working along with a experienced, seasoned person like you who has actually sailed through COVID. So, and you like these distress situations make us more experienced, polish us more. And
absolutely.
I'm sure you are actually after sailing through COVID, you are anyway ready for the other situation also in case if something turns up in future.
Honestly, I thought I had been through everything. When you've done hotels and hotels technologies and softwares and marketing for 20 years, you think you've seen everything. COVID came along. I was I learned something new every single
Mhm.
day. And there are some funny stories, there are some hysterical stories actually, and there are some terrible stories, and there are some sad stories. And but the one thing that I take away from all of it, I mean, during COVID, we started COVID with around 1,400 staff, and within 3 months we had furloughed huge amounts of staff, and we down to about 300 staff. And the one thing that I carried through COVID was hospitality team members are the most robust people you will ever find. We had housekeepers coming in once a week to clean rooms, in almost hazmat suits when it first started. And I would say to these people, like, you don't have to do this. These people aren't expecting it. And they'd say, no, but we're going to do it because that's what we do. And you it reinvigorated. I mean, I've always been very passionate about the industry. I've loved the industry from all angles and all aspects, but it reinvigorated my love for hospitality and for hospitality people and what was possible. And that's one of the things I really want to drive is that this project, as well as investing even if you invest one token in a hotel, you are investing in an ecosystem that in 10 years' time will employ tens of thousands of people. You are investing in the future. You are creating employment. You are creating an amazing thing that is going to live and breathe and function. And you'll be able to walk past one of these in a high street one day and say, "Oh, I've got an investment in that. Actually, I'm a shareholder in that." It's it is. I am hoping that we will create something that every single coin holder is proud to be part of, and actually is at the point where they say, I helped make that happen. I was one of the first people that bought a coin. I helped that happen, because I hope it's going to be an amazing movement.
Great, Rich. So I totally understand the kind of learnings you've gone through, and still the life goes on, and the learnings go on. And I think even our viewers, I have a message for them that in this is the right time and the initial phase to invest in the hotel token and be a part of this ecosystem, which would continue to grow. And Rich has such a robust plan and a strong team, which I am sure not many projects have such a strong team. So I think overall it's a very good investment, as well as uh, if if you a chain and industry which would actually change the world.
And this is never going away. People are not, this isn't like one of the, and again, I'm very cautious to ever kind of look like I'm slating other projects. I mean, there are lots of projects out there that I look at and go, really? Is that the thing? This isn't one of those imaginary projects. This is a real tangible thing that you can hold and touch and stroke. It's a wall, it's a building, it's a, you know, but I think more importantly is this is only growing. Everything we're trying to do, people are still getting older and they're living longer and they need places to live. People
Hmm.
still need apartments and will always need apartments, and the world is getting more and more populated. Residences are getting more and more expensive and harder to find. And more importantly, travel is going nowhere. People's desire to explore and experience new things is never going away now. You know, if anything, it's been reinvigorated by COVID to where now people want, people aren't saving their money anymore. They're not buying houses. They're going off and experiencing what it's like to trek across Tahiti or to go up a mountain they're renting cars instead of buying cars. They are all about the live for now and the experience. We're creating a project and a movement that gives them something to experience. So, are we cashing in on it? Absolutely. We are cashing in on how everything in the world has changed, and we are coming out the other side stronger, agile, and ready to really create something that what makes people go, oh, wow, I want to go there. I want to do that. I want to live there.
Right, absolutely. And like you said rightly, travel is an important part of almost every human being. And though some people are tired enough to travel, but they would love to travel when they get a chance. And traveling does make us a better human being altogether.
Yeah,
Okay.
culture is something that we as human beings, we grow through culture and through
Mhm.
experiencing other cultures.
Absolutely.
There's amazing things out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. For all our viewers, I would like you to visit the website of Beach Avenue Financial. It's spelled as BEACHAVENUE FINANCIALS and then .com, and you have the scan code as well. So please visit Beach Avenue Financial to learn more about the hotel token and about the project and the amazing things Rich and team are doing together. Okay, and so Rich, before we even part, I would like to understand any events which are coming up anywhere where people can actually get in touch with your team and know more about your projects.
Okay, so we are exclusive with Coinstore for the time being.
Mhm.
So we will be launching with Coinstore at the Australia show and also in London. I believe there's another show in Singapore as well. So pretty much any of the big events where you see Coinstore, you'll see Hodl kind of being there. You can always connect with us via Telegram or via Twitter. Our team are watching, and we will respond. We will answer. You tend to find me floating around on the internet doing quite a lot of these. And yeah, the project has been very well received. So there's a lot of press going out at the moment. There are some travel shows coming up that you may see us at as well.
Great, Rich. Thanks for the details. And I would like to remind our viewers once again that we do have some airdrops for hotel tokens and to look at the flash of the passcode. In case if you have missed out, please do listen to the recording as well. So the entire event, this conversation is recorded. So there, please look for the passport and passcode and back some hotel tokens. And personally, I feel it's an amazing investment. So uh, it's one of the very few coins I would say I would trust to invest because it is backed up with so much of of real asset. So quite a nice place to invest. Any last words before we part, Rich? You'd like to suggest us?
No, just for me. I mean, I want to thank everybody that's taken the time to look at the project, everybody that's invested in the project, our pre-market investors that came in and made all this possible, and kind of
Mhm.
those that just kind of saw the dream and thought, actually, yeah, this is a really good idea. We should do this. So thanks to all those people. And if anybody has any questions, message us, ask us. Otherwise, go buy the token and be part of something amazing for a long time to come.
Absolutely. So we will, in our social media, we would be posting the links to the Telegram as well as to the Twitter for Hotel as well. So please do get in touch with the team, ask questions. And I would like to thank you, Rich and Dan, for sparing your time and for this amazing conversation. And Mel as well, I would like to thank for taking us through the slides. I know it's difficult to sail through while speaking. So thank you, Mel and Bovi from our team who has coordinated it so well. Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this show. Thank you very much, Rich.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.